Once, it was called the Pearl of the North, a city older than memory, where empires rose and fell. Mosul stood strong through centuries of war, culture, and faith. But in the span of a generation, it nearly vanished. Bombed, burned, broken. What happened to this ancient city? And can a place that has lost so much ever find its soul again? June 2014, the black flag rises over Mosul. In just 6 days, a city of over 1 million collapses. Soldiers flee. Streets empty. Panic spreads. 500,000 people gone overnight, fleeing with nothing but fear and the clothes on their backs. And those who stayed faced a new kind of rule. No music, no internet, no dissent. Women erased from public life, forced into black, into silence. Libraries burned. Ancient shrines destroyed. The tomb of Jonah leveled with explosives. Centuries of memory gone in seconds. For over 2 years, Mosul lived in fear, a city watching itself disappear, quiet, controlled, forgotten. July 2017, Mosul is declared free, but the sounds of gunfire still echo through shattered streets. Pockets of ISIS resistance remain. The fight isn't over, not yet. By the time the last bullet is fired, the city is barely standing. West Mosul, flattened. Entire districts erased. Tens of thousands dead. History, memory, identity, buried under rubble. And yet, people begin to return. Slowly, cautiously. Among the ruins, something stirs. Stones are cleared. Homes rebuilt. And even the Al-Nuri Mosque, blown up in the final days, is set to rise again. Because to rebuild a city is to believe it still has a future. When the fighting ended, the silence was deafening. No more airstrikes, no more gunfire, only the sound of wind through broken buildings. And the question, what now? Slowly, life began to return. Displaced families came back to what was left of their homes. Some found nothing but dust and ashes. Others found memories buried under the rubble. In East Mosul, schools reopened first, sometimes in tents, sometimes in half-standing buildings. Markets came alive again, filled with the smell of spices and the sound of children laughing. Electricity was unreliable, clean water rare, but hope started to flicker. Yet nothing was simple. Trauma lived in every street, every family. Wounds ran deeper than collapsed walls. Mothers searched for missing sons. Children drew pictures of war instead of dreams. And still, they rebuilt. By hand, by heart, with what they had. Volunteers cleared debris. Local artisans repaired mosques. Teachers returned without pay. And at the heart of the city, a symbol was reborn. The Al-Nuri Mosque, blown up by ISIS in their final act of defiance, now rising again, stone by stone. Not as it once was, but as a promise to never forget. Mosul is not healed. It may never be the same, but it breathes again. It sings again. And in the echoes of its ruins, you can hear the beginning of something new. For years, Mosul was a name whispered in fear, a symbol of loss, of ruin, of darkness. But today, that is no longer the whole story. Amid the scars, a different truth has taken root. The people of Mosul did not wait to be saved. They returned, they rebuilt, they remembered. Not because it was easy, but because they had to. Because home is not just a place, it's a promise. From all corners of the world, help arrived. UNESCO began restoring mosques and churches alike. The United Arab Emirates funded the rebirth of the Al-Nuri Mosque. Europe helped clear mines and rebuild schools. The World Bank brought light back to darkened homes. And behind the rubble and headlines, life took hold again. The University of Mosul reopened its doors. Thousands returned to classrooms and clinics. The government, once paralyzed, became the city's largest employer again. Ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Yes, ISIS still exists. In whispers, in shadows, but it no longer rules. No longer owns this city's story. That story now belongs to the people. To the teacher rebuilding her classroom with her bare hands. To the father planting a tree where his house once stood. To the child who now hears laughter instead of gunfire. Mosul is not what it was. It may never be, but it is something more powerful. A city that refused to die. And in every broken wall and every rising stone, it reminds us that even the deepest wounds can heal. Mosul may never return to what it was, but in its struggle to rise again, it reminds the world what it means to survive. This story is not over. It's only just beginning.